Hey friends. Okay, so I had a huge response from talking about fear the other day, and I never realized I don't know, how many fears we all have and how it's really changed my life to see the response of people reaching out saying, Jordan, oh my gosh, this is what I needed to hear. Have you ever had fears? I never knew that you were fearful. You've done this and that. And y'all, I have so many fears, but I wanted to share with you, first and foremost, that I tackled one of those fears yesterday, personally. Hey, Nat. How are you, friend? One of my motivators. I tackled one of those fears yesterday, and I feel so good. So, yes, it was a personal fear, and I know that lots of us have those in our life. And, you know, honestly, a lot of those things you don't talk about. You don't put them on paper. You don't let people know what your fears are. And I've realized that when I speak my fears, when I speak them out loud, when I tell people, when I write them down, y'all, I write things on paper, okay? So this is one of my papers. Get it done. So what's on the top? And when I write my fears out, hey Sarah, I feel like it's almost like the first step. It's the first step of therapy for me. So whatever it is, maybe the fear is, for me, one time a fear was, oh my gosh, I don't think I could ever do a marathon. But you know what? I started training, I had accountability partners, and I was able to do it. So I think sometimes speaking it into existence is the number one thing you can do. I think some of the messages that I got from that first response was, it'll make me cry, so I'm not gonna cry. But I got a lot of messages, and I really want you guys to know, especially women, you are powerful, you can achieve anything, and I don't just say that, I'm really not just saying that. I really mean when you speak something into existence, when you write it down, when you tell your close friends, tell your family, big things can happen in your life, very big things. And a lot of times we're just fearful of what people think of us. We're very fearful of, you know, somebody's gonna judge me, somebody's gonna think that I'm not good enough. And at the end of the day, we all have our own things we're dealing with. You can't worry about what anybody thinks of you. You can't worry if you're not gonna be successful at it. You have to get over that fear, and then guess what? You can change somebody else's life. So thank you for some of the most amazing messages I've ever read, honestly. I was sharing some of them with Tim the other night because it made me very emotional to realize that, you know, I'm not the only person that fears that, or I'm not the only person that wonders if I could do something, okay? So thank y'all so much for that awesome response. But I challenge you to go do it. I challenge you to do it. I wrote my 10 things down. I've already accomplished 2. Some of the other things are gonna take a little longer. Some of the other things are more personal that I really wanna work on. So, you know, go do it. You can do it. But what I wanted to share today, so one of the things that I got a lot of response from was, Jordan, okay, what motivates you to do that? What makes you go do it? What, you know, how does it become normal for you? How do you overcome it and then move on? Or how do you tackle that in the right way? How do you know when you should do the fear, when you should face that fear? And I got to thinking, okay, so motivation and motivators get us started, right? So for me, motivators are working out, getting my mind in the right place. A motivator would be my children, realizing that if I can't face the fear, they're never gonna be able to do it either, because strength really just comes from not letting something knock you down over and over and getting up and facing it the next day. So I think, and y'all can probably hear my robot going by. I love this thing. But a lot of times our fears are overcome by strengthening who we are. So for me personally, I have to have some motivators. So I wrote a couple things down. What motivates me? And I actually called my sister today and I said, tell me, I'm not gonna tell you any of this, you know, anything that goes around it. I just wanna ask you right now, what motivates you every single day? And of course she's like, well, you know, relationships, talking to you every day, taking care of myself. You know, my children, when I wake up and I look at my child, she has a son. When I wake up and I look at him, I realize I've got to go do this. I've got to accomplish big things. I've got to be my best so I can help my family. So that was kind of her response. And she said, and it builds confidence in herself when she doesn't want to do something and she makes herself do it. And she realizes that, hey, that wasn't as hard as I, you know, was thinking it was going to be. So build confidence in yourself by doing the things you think you can't do, okay? So here's what I thought. Here's some motivators for me. And I would love to know what motivates you. So if you want to comment below or tell me, I love that. I love knowing what makes people tick. So for me, and a lot of you know this, is working out. Working out is what, it's like my mojo. It's what makes me function as a person. I think a lot when I run. It's kind of how I decompress. So I really, really encourage you to find something that makes you calm down and realize and kind of dream. It's one of those things where I tell Tim all the time, my mind races with ideas and things and hopes and dreams. But when I go for a run or when I work out, and it's like you put your body under a little bit of stress, and it's kind of fight or flight, and all my thoughts kind of just start flowing, and it gets me started for the day. So I want to talk about that versus habit. So for me, okay, the act is working out that motivates me, gets me moving, gets me excited. But then the habit part sets in. So for me, motivating factors of working out, I feel good, I am proud of how I look, I'm proud of who I am, so it creates that confidence in myself, but it becomes a habit, y'all. So when you make yourself do something that motivates you, all of a sudden it becomes a habit and it becomes natural. And then you can go tell somebody and share that with someone else, and then you're able to tackle things. So I feel like when I get my good workout, I take care of myself, I eat right, for the most part, then I'm able to be my best, I'm able to think clearly, and then I'm able to create that habit, and then I'm able to say, okay, you know what, I am strong enough, smart enough to go complete this task, to get over that fear. And y'all, it's so exhilarating. It is so exhilarating when you have accomplished something, and then you call and you tell your close friends, and you tell your husband, and you tell your kids, and and like I told you guys yesterday, my daughter uses the word strength a lot. So because I do, I'm like, okay, this will make us strong. This is why we do this. And a lot of times, they don't want me to leave to go do something, but they see me consistent. So they say statistically that things become a habit after you do them 17 to 21 times. Now I believe it has to become a passionate habit is different than a habit, but a good passionate habit happens when we don't dread it. Make yourself see the good in it. So for a lot of people, it would be eating right or working out or being consistent in your job. So for me personally, when I complete something over and over and over, it becomes my habit. It becomes who I am. So that's why I think it's so important to look at who's around you. Look at the things you're reading. Look at the things you're thinking about, because those things become our habits. They become who we truly are. So, okay, I also wrote down, I'm going to write it down. This is what I do at night. So I'm really a dork, honestly. So at night, and a lot of my friends know this, I write my thoughts down at 10 o'clock. It's like my last thing I do before I go to bed on these big notepads. I write them down, and I write down, okay, so this is kind of how, when I wake up in the morning, I already kind of know what to expect for the day. And I can tell you as a mom, I can tell you as a woman that you've got to do that for yourself. You kind of have to have, if you don't write it down, that's fine. But for me, I write it down, I wake up with purpose, and then that habit becomes easier. And in my list of things I want to accomplish, there's always personal development for me. I want to read something, I want to hear something, I want to listen while I'm running or something that's going to improve me so that I can go home and be a better mom, I can be better at my job, and I can be a happier person, honestly. So I encourage you to find things that motivate you, write them down, make them your habits, make them part of who you are. So like my job, y'all, this amazing journey, it is not a job. I shouldn't call it that. What it is it's a habit. It is my best habit. That's what it's become. And the more I think about that, it's like, find something that makes you, I wake up excited. I wake up and I look at my phone and I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't wait for today. I got to get everything organized. I got to get going because I have big things to accomplish today. So think about that. Find your motivators, write them down, just like I'm saying. I promise you'll have these aha moments where you write something down, you wake up with purpose, you go accomplish it. Write it down again the next night and get up and go accomplish it. And then all of a sudden it's like, man, I'm doing that without writing it down. And man, I'm motivated to do that without anybody encouraging me. And I don't have to have someone call me and tell me to get up. I just have to wake up and realize that I'm going to be my best self when I complete those tasks. When I complete, with whatever you do, whatever job or whatever your habits are, if you make your motivators so powerful and you write them down, you speak it into existence. I'm a big believer in speaking what you want, and tell people around you, and then all of a sudden you wake up and it's kind of routine. And I'm so routine, y'all. It's just part of who I am. It helps me function at my highest level. And so it becomes that habit that I don't know, it's makes me excited for the day. It makes me live with purpose. It makes me live with drive. And I wanted to share those things with you guys today. So healthy life, healthy mind, healthy body. And I was joking with a friend of mine. She was like, tell me about your lime water. So honestly, here's my little lime thing. This is totally random, but on my list to make me my best is I have to drink a lot of water or I'm more tired. And right now I have a sinus infection. And so, You know how that makes you just not feel your best? Well, anyway, so I drink lime water and I squeeze it like this into one of these big Yetis, and it's become a habit because I'm motivated to feel my best, and I'm gonna do that by creating a habit like that, like drinking at least 3 32-ounce waters every single day, still enjoying my coffee and everything else, but making that motivation to feel good and to have a better life, turn that into the habit, and all of a sudden, it's like I can share that with you because it's become so easy for me. So anyway, just wanted to share that. I hope you girls have an awesome day. It's almost Friday. And if you don't have one of these robots that's running around, you really want it. I get excited to come home and turn it on. So thank y'all for joining me. I hope that you have a great day, and I will talk to all of you very soon. Bye, girls.